Welcome to today's First Chesapeake Chat, sponsored by Newport News Shipbuilding session. I am Annika Seth, a First Chesapeake FTC and FRC alumni and an alumni ambassador sponsored by Booz Allen Hamilton. I am here to introduce today's First Chesapeake Chat. I want to thank this session's sponsor, Newport News Shipbuilding, for making this chat possible. Just some housekeeping, we're going to first let the speakers present and then open up for discussion and questions later on if there is time. Please feel free to put questions in the comments throughout the session, and we'll try to get to them all at the end of their presentations. Before we get started, a couple of quick reminders. First of all, the 2021-22 Women in STEM scholarships sponsored by Dominion Energy is open for applications. This is open to First Chesapeake District female junior and senior FTC and FRC team members who were competitors either this season or last season. The application deadline is November 15th, so please look on our homepage or email contact us at firstchesapeake.org for details. Second, we're trying something new and super exciting this year. Before the end of today's presentation, we will ask a question that relates to something from our chat or to First. And the first person to enter the correct answer in the chat box will win a $10 Chick-fil-A gift card. With all that said, let's get started. Today's chat features a cool jobs discussion with two Qualcomm employees. Our lovely speakers are first, Joy Cho, a First FRC alumni and Qualcomm engineer at Product Test and Tools Development, and Erica Ciaraldi, a senior analyst with Qualcomm Global Corporate Responsibility. We're going to begin with each speaker sharing a little bit about themselves and why they love what they do. So up first, Joy, if you want to share a little bit about your background, that would be amazing.
Hi, I'm Joy. I am a First alumni from a team in Columbia, Maryland. So I'm an engineer at Product Test and Tools team, and what we do is that we build tests to test our product, the new products, and test it until the devices basically break down and find the issues why it broke down and try to fix the issues before we sell it to our customers so the phone that you use will have as little problem as possible. So I love breaking the devices. That's the cool thing about my job.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Joy. And Erica, what about you?
Well, thanks for having me. So for the past 5 years, I've been working with Qualcomm Corporate Responsibility. One of our initiatives were called Wireless Reach. So I feel like that deserves a little bit of an explanation because it's not your traditional STEM role. But I'm really fortunate that my job gives me the opportunity to take the amazing technologies that folks like Joy, are inventing and working with, and our engineers across the company and other STEM professionals, and then work with all types of organizations. And we're applying these technologies to address some of the most pressing issues facing communities across the world. So in this sort of umbrella, Qualcomm for Good, which is the term for all of our corporate responsibility initiatives, Qualcomm for Good Wireless Reach specifically is the strategic initiative that's bringing wireless technology to underserved communities globally. So for 15 years, we've been innovating new applications for Qualcomm-enabled technologies, and we're demonstrating to governments and decision and policymakers really around the world how access to these types of technologies, initially it was just mobile and your smartphone, and now it's really grown beyond that, but how all these wireless technologies and then connectivity can drive social and economic progress and transform communities around the globe. And so the last thing I'll say about that is we're a grant making arm. So again, a little bit different from, what you might hear from other sort of traditional STEM roles here. But our group, we invest in programs that are fostering entrepreneurship, aiding in public safety, enhancing the delivery of healthcare, enriching teaching and learning, improving environmental sustainability, and empowering women, particularly women micro entrepreneurs. And we have a cool video to share with you that you're going to get to hear from one of our engineers who has worked on the technologies that are being implemented in one of our wireless reach programs throughout their career at Qualcomm. So I'm excited to share that for you a little bit later.
We can actually dive right into that now if you would like. If you wouldn't mind rolling up that video, that could be super cool.
Sure.
I live in a rural area of the Philippines and operate a small convenience shop from my home called a sari-sari store. The income from this business helps to supplement the income for my family.
So the program is all about enabling micro-entrepreneurs and using phones which they already have access to enable them to do more with what they're already doing in terms of resources and everything. My name is Manish Tripathi and I'm a Senior Director of Technology. So the program is about enabling them using smartphones, which are using based on the Android platform and powered by our Qualcomm Snapdragon chipsets. And it is about enabling them to use these smartphones to do electronic transfers for money and be able to make loan payments or bill payments and those kind of things using the data capabilities of the wireless networks that exist today.
Because there are very few banks in rural communities like mine, most of my neighbors do not have basic financial services available to them. This makes it very difficult to perform critical transactions like making bill and loan payments or transferring money. But now, I can use my smartphone to provide these important services through the Happy Noy Mobile Money Hub project.
So some of my patents are around how we can make the data transmission between a cell site and a phone more efficient and more reliable. So by doing that, we are able to make sure that when a user picks up their phone and says, okay, I want to submit this loan payment or I want to transfer my money from this account to this account, all of that data as it's going back and forth between the phone and then the cell site and then back to the bank or wherever they're going, it's as reliable as fast as possible.
With a special Smart Money platform application loaded onto my Android-based phone, I can now offer affordable mobile financial services to the people in my community. This helps to improve the economy in my area and affords me the opportunity to grow my business and increase my family's income. My name is Nanay Lani, and I use my smartphone to offer mobile financial services, improve my community, and grow my business.
Wow.
Well, thanks so much for watching. I just want to add two more things before we turn it over. But so one point also, so this project, this is just one of the 132 projects that we've had across 49 countries over the last 15 years. And these projects have reached going over 20 million people now. We just set a new goal for 2025 to beneficially impact the lives of over 27 million people by 2025. So we're really excited to continue doing projects like this to make all kinds of social impact around the globe using any kind of Qualcomm enabled technologies, again, going from mobile phones to and 3G and then now 4G. And now with 5G, we're implementing projects that are utilizing artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and, you know, a connected ecosystem of devices, virtual reality and augmented reality, and so much more. And so really excited to see what the future holds and what, you know, is going to be invented in all the years to come on the backs of these technologies that Qualcomm's really enabling and laying the groundwork for. And then the other piece I just wanted to say is that the work that Qualcomm does with FIRST actually falls underneath our Qualcomm for Good initiative as well, particularly our STEM education efforts. And so our really amazing colleagues that I get to work with manage all of the engagements with FIRST as well. So I have been to the championship a couple of years ago and have to say, I wish that I'd been exposed to FIRST when I was in high school. So I'll stop there.
No, that's beautiful. And that was really, really inspirational. Thank you so much for sharing that. Joy, you had a video to share as well, right? Do you want to get into that now? Do you want to give us like a little bit of background on the video or?
Sure, I want to share it. It's related to the work that I'm doing. Working on a project that kind of inherits what's shown in this video. So yeah.
Let's get into it.
That it's a literal game changer and will become the gold standard for all of these top competitive players, without a doubt.
With Snapdragon 888, we have built new capabilities and optimizations to greatly reduce touch response times. We are excited to announce a new Snapdragon Elite gaming feature called Qualcomm Game Quick Touch. Touch latency depends on many factors. For example, the timing of the display VSync and the timing of the game's frame submission. Sometimes, due to heavy game workloads, the game may miss the VSync deadline. This will result in a delayed frame. This delayed frame impacts the latency of the touch event. The Game Quick Touch feature is optimized at the millisecond level to avoid these type of delays. Gamers will immediately experience faster response times. Snapdragon 888 with Game Quick Touch will increase the speed from touch to display up to 20%. Even a game with the blistering frame rate of 120 FPS will see an improvement in touch response times. Every mobile game can benefit from this new feature, from taking that racetrack corner a little tighter in Asphalt 9 or going for that final kill in Fortnite. I'm also excited to announce that Snapdragon Elite Gaming is delivering another mobile-first feature by bringing variable rate shading to mobile gaming. Until now, variable rate shading, known as VRS, has only been available on high-end PCs and next-generation consoles. Powered by the new Qualcomm Adreno 660, VRS will help reduce GPU workloads and provide significant enhancements to games. This will allow
I think we froze up there at the end, but that is all good, Joy. That was so interesting to learn a little bit more about the projects that you're working on personally. And I think earlier you mentioned that you were on an FRC team in Colombia. What team was that?
It was Team 2537 Space Raiders.
Super cool, super cool. And kind of on that same note, I would, we're going to open it up now to the audience for questions, but as we wait for our first ones to roll in, I would love to know more from you, Joy, about what about your first experience kind of helped you out in your career. What do you use from first in your day-to-day career life, I guess is the question.
Yeah, so first taught me, first of all, a lot of things. Like my family is in like engineering background, so I had to learn like from scratch in robotics team. Honestly, all the hard skills that I learned, like all the technical skills, it really helped in my college years. And I think what first taught me, and I'm using a lot in work, are the soft skills that I learned: how to work in a team, how to work as a team group, how to like ask for different questions, how to be curious, how to ask the right questions, or if I have questions, do I directly go to a mentor to talk about it, or do I research first and kind of go through what questions could I categorize and like things I can figure out before I can take it up to the mentor. So all these different soft skills are the ones that I learned and is very helpful to me at work right now.
You know, that's amazing to hear as a very, very recent alumni. Like I graduated in June myself. It's really nice to hear that these skills are going to be useful going down the line in that way. We also have a shout out for Joy in the chat here that's calling you the most diligent, most conscientious FRC volunteer that they've ever worked with. So go Joy. Yeah, thank you so much for all of your work in the FRC community.
I miss volunteering times.
Yeah,
so much.
Volunteering in person is like an unmatched experience. Yeah. We have a question in here from Team 4924. They're saying in FTC there was a huge leap in 2016 where we moved away from using NXT controllers and began to use smartphones, which they believe had Snapdragons. And that was awesome. Did Qualcomm help FTC make this move? And if so, how did it help you? Is the question. And either of you could answer this.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I started working last year, so I'm not sure about Qualcomm's technical involvement before then. But I do know, as Erica mentioned in her STEM education effort from Qualcomm, we do help a lot in terms of like providing the technology and providing the like hardware of how to make things work. So, can you show me the question again? It was about NXT controllers, right?
Yep, it's about in 2016 we moved away from NXT controllers and began to use smartphones instead.
So if it has been using Snapdragon chips, it'll definitely be involving around the chip developments that uses the IoT, especially from those controllers, especially if it's using smartphones. Yeah, sorry, I can't give any more detail about this. I wasn't part of this project, but I know that Qualcomm has been providing a lot of different hardwares and software support for FRC.
We have some additions from Mr. Phil in the chat. Great to see you. Where he's saying that Qualcomm engineers contributed greatly to the first SDK software, if that helps answer your question, 4924. So thank you. Thank you both for that. And then Erica, I've got a question for you. I think earlier you mentioned that you kind of wish that you had been a little bit more involved in FIRST when you were in high school. And I'm wondering what other advice you might have for your younger high school self and maybe for other high school members in the audience today.
That's a great question. So we didn't even have a FIRST team, and my family are not engineers, but they're from a science background, and I always thought I really enjoyed science, but I got B's and B pluses in it, and therefore I thought I'm not good at this. I can't do this. It sort of scared me, and I moved away from that, and I studied liberal arts, and really glad, I did what I did, but I do wish I'd been, a bit less scared to do things that weren't, I was worried how my grades might, affect essentially all my opportunities down the line for the rest of my life, and I was probably scared to take some chances that, I needn't have been scared to. But it's actually interesting. I'm at a conference right now, and some of you may be familiar with Amy Poehler, and she has an initiative called Smart Girls, and she's got some characters on television that are very very inspirational. And actually someone just asked her this question, and her answer was, I would give less advice. And I actually really liked that. So I guess that would be my piece of advice, is I'm going to try and give less of it, except for to just be open to new experiences and don't be scared to do hard things.
And that's really helpful. I think that it often can feel like there's only one right path to whatever your goal might be. And I think that deviations from that path can be really scary. So I think that's really, really helpful and insightful advice. Thank you so much for sharing. So now it's time to test your memory to our lovely audience members today. If you know the answer to this question, you will win a $10 Chick-fil-A gift card to the first person to enter the correct answer into the chat. So today's question is, to what first team is Joy an alumna? And we'll accept either the team name or the team number. So while y'all are thinking about that and putting in your answers into the chat, we're going to watch a short video from Qualcomm.
3, 2, 1. One of the reasons why Qualcomm has invested in FIRST for so long is because we know FIRST works.
That worked. Perfect.
We see these students coming through the program, not just learning about engineering, but also those 21st century skills that are so important.
FIRST is probably like the biggest reason why I'm confident at all now. 4 years ago, I was the shyest, quietest child on like the face of the planet, and FIRST definitely changed that.
Part of this Rube Goldberg machine is sort of fostering the relationship between Qualcomm and FIRST.
Working at FIRST teaches you various skills that you can directly transfer to the workplace. It teaches you to work with people with different personalities. It teaches you to respect ideas that you don't necessarily agree with. Most of all, it teaches you to meet aggressive deadlines that you will necessarily face at the workplace.
Qualcomm invents breakthrough technologies for wireless, and so this machine and programs like our partnership with FIRST are really, our way of inspiring kids that STEM can be fun and working with the team can be fun.
Science, technology, engineering, mathematics are foundation of what industry is on right now. We are a technical leader in the world.
We know that there's a shortage of students with STEM skills, not just in the US, but globally. And that's why Qualcomm's so invested in making sure that these students have the skills necessary to compete in a global economy of the future.
I do like taking on a problem because once you finish it, you feel really accomplished.
I feel like technology combined with teamwork and creativity can solve basically any problem that we face today and will be very crucial to the success of our future.
All right, thank you so much, Qualcomm, for that amazing video. We do have a winner in our chat here. Mr. Jeff Myers wrote out, you got the answer correct, so thank you so much. You will win a $10 Chick-fil-A gift card, and you'll get a direct message in chat from First Chesapeake, so we'll get your gift card in the mail as soon as possible. And Joy would like to say something about the Space Horse costume, I think, if you care to share.
Hi, Jeff. So in my defense, I was too short for the space horse costume, so I do wish I was the sparkling horse, like space horse, but oh well, my height.
It's hard. Being vertically challenged can be, an issue sometimes. Fully relatable, Joy. I want to thank both you, Joy and Erica, so much for your time today, and to Qualcomm as well for being one of our first Chesapeake Signature sponsors. Thank you all so much for all your support and your time and all the engagement you've given to First Chesapeake. A quick reminder to all of you watching from home or from wherever you are right now, the volunteer registration system is now open for FTC volunteers. We again have remote roles available like judging, making it easy to support our STEM community. Please visit our volunteer webpage at firstchesapeake.org/volunteer for instructions and links to register. And to you all watching, please stay tuned for the next chat called Judge Advisor Chat with First Chesapeake Senior Judge Advisors Joe Beauchard and Jeff Myers, our recent challenge winner, starting in just a few minutes. We want to again thank our First Chesapeake Chat sponsor, Newport News Shipbuilding, for their generous support of this program and of our 2022 First Chesapeake District Championship. Please enjoy the short video of Newport News, and thank you so much for your time today.